Hello, welcome to another episode of Quarantine with Craig. I am Craig. Today's episode... let me move that. I always forget about moving this. Today's episode is about trends. I've just been having this conversation with somebody about trends in design, and I kind of found myself getting a little bit passionate about it when I was talking to him about it. It kind of irked me a little bit, I'll be honest. Trends in design irk me is the best way to describe it. They don't annoy me as such, they irk me, and they make me a little bit angry when I hear from people who are trying to follow trends. The question that I got asked was, one of my friends, he's primarily a developer, he's making a new website, and he said, I'm going to make a new website and I'm going to make it in the style of the neumorphic design style. The thing that's going around at the minute in design is kind of this neumorphic design style that I really, really hate, by the way. It's just another trend that's been put out there that everybody's talking about on Twitter and on Facebook and Instagram, and everybody's talking about it, but there isn't anybody using it because it's horrible. As a trend, it's not very nice. And neumorphic design, and I'll put some examples of it on the screen. Neumorphic design is kind of a backlash to flat design. Flat design is where everything went from skeuomorphic design, where design used physical elements inside the world, inside digital products. So the old style of this, and again I'll flash some examples up on the screen, the old style of this was Apple. They used to make the Notes app have kind of a leather bound effect, and the paper on the app kind of look like paper, that kind of thing. A neumorphic design is the smashing of skeuomorphic and flat design together into some kind of horrible Frankenstein beast that nobody should be using in any kind of design. So when my friend, my primarily developer friend, said, I'm going to make a website that's neumorphic, I said, no, don't do that. That's horrible. Don't do that. Don't think about that trend. It's terrible. In fact, I said to him, it's f***ing terrible. Ignore it. Don't use it. Do a classic design. Stop thinking about trends because they're traps. And I didn't say trends are traps to him, but actually I said this on Twitter the other day. Trends are traps. And this is a thing that Lois said. I'm reading in one of his books at the minute, which is this book. I'm reading Damn Good Advice by Lois. I recommend you read it. And there's a section in that where he talks about trends being traps, and I completely agree. We've got this thing in design, especially when we're trying to learn design. We've got this thing where we look at a style and we want to replicate it. But that's the bad way of looking at things. That way won't see any progression in your career. If you are constantly chasing new trends all the time, trying to just keep up with the way other people do things, you will never make something that stands out from the crowd, because even if you're the first to the trend, even if you make the first neumorphic website, in 5 months' time, there's going to be a million neumorphic websites out there, and your website is lined up along with all the rest and it looks exactly the same. So that's why I think trends are traps, and I don't think you should follow them. The best thing to do in terms of design especially, and to be honest this applies to anything, you need to learn the fundamentals of something before you do anything. Look for the fundamentals of design. I did a video on this as well, the fundamentals of design, the 4 crap fundamentals. You need to focus on the fundamentals first and forget everything else. Forget about neumorphic design, forget about flat design. Just focus on understanding why design works. Look at a design and think, why does that work? What are the universal fundamental elements of this design that make it work? Rather than thinking, I'm going to copy neumorphic design or I'm going to make a flat design. Think first about the fundamental idea behind something before you go away and try and make it. Solve the fundamentals, apply the fundamentals, and you'll make design that's classic, that stands the test of time, that you'll be able to keep online for longer than 6 months, and not everybody will copy. It's something that people will look at and go, yes, that is good design. Universally good, appreciated, iconic design. I didn't really expect that video to go that way today. It's not a jolly video. It's an important message that we should all follow. Fundamentals are vital to learning anything. It's the first place you should start, the place you should end, and you should keep returning to over and over and over. I'm Craig Burgess. I am on Twitter most of the time. If you go to @CraigBurgess, you'll find me on there. And if you go over to my website, which is getdoingthings.com, you'll see loads more stuff, especially about fundamentals, on there. The final thing to say is this is Quarantine with Craig. I'm doing these videos around every day. So come back here tomorrow to see another one. And until then, thank you very much. I'll see you then.